Joining us right now, the Chief Executive Officer of Alt5 Sigma. Their ticker symbol is ALTS. And we welcome Mr. Peter Tassiopoulous to the show. Peter, how's your day going?
Fantastic, guys. How are you?
We're doing great. Peter, great to see you. You know, we're at 125 million TV homes across the country. We're also in American Forces Network in 175 countries and all the ships at sea. Let's not forget Bloomberg, Financiero. Everyone's asking the same question, Peter. What the hell is this cryptocurrency thing and what is the blockchain? We've been talking about it for 3 years. And it's like you may as well explain to us an algebra problem because I don't think anybody really figures this thing out. I talked to Peter this morning. I said, look, I got the same 40 bucks in my pocket for the last 6 months. And if I'm not tipping somebody, I'm using a digital currency. Yet it's still a mystery to us. So can we start with the infrastructure part of it, Peter, and the blockchain part of it before we get to your company for a second? Why do we care about the blockchain? Other than it's this newfangled thing that all the crazy kids are using.
Well, you know, I mean, blockchain is really what it boils down to. It's a platform, right? Cryptocurrency is just an application on the platform. And so the easiest way to think about it is think about a database that everybody can see. Nobody can cheat the system. Everyone sees the same thing at the same time, and you can't write over it, and you can't make things disappear from it. So when you think about it, it's really just a way to store data. And by coming up with such a unique way to store that data, share it, be able to see it, and trust it, people decided to build cryptocurrencies, which is just a digital representation of money.
So
sitting on this blockchain.
So not to interrupt. So Peter, if you think about the blockchain as the infrastructure, I guess, for cryptocurrency and transactional, it sounds like to me that it would be fraud proof. And it sounds like to me it would be overall less expensive to do business because it kind of cuts out the middleman eventually. Is that about right?
Absolutely. So it disrupts traditional banking, SWIFT networks, et cetera. I'll give you an idea. So a story I tell people. Think about the blockchain like, you know, there's 3 guys, they all have a notebook. And in that notebook, they say that one of you owes the other 2 $20. And now there's a new person who gets a notebook. He has the exact same notebook. And he says that you don't. Well, guess what? The 3 guys have a notebook that says that you do. Everybody knows who owes who the $20 and when they did it. And so if you look at that and then continue that with millions and millions of data points, suddenly you've got the entire community getting behind making sure everyone's transparent. And that's really what it is. And as far as speed goes and transparency, you know, I can send you $1 in some cryptocurrency right now with the push of a button, and you'll get it in about a millisecond.
So just the term fraud proof, I think you mentioned, that for me seems I'm a little bit skeptical about that because of hackers and I don't know, AI and all the changes with technology that are happening every minute. So I'm thinking, okay, it's starting off fraud proof and...
Well, but to his point, what he just said is, if I'm not mistaken, if you're worried about fraud, if you've got multiple guys with notebooks, they can verify that it's not fraud. Isn't that the idea?
You got it. How many counterfeit Bitcoins have you ever heard of? And then let's talk about fiat. There's nobody with
fiat currency. So because I understand, because I had the same fear.
I'm skeptical of it.
Well, sure. No, but I'm afraid, and I think that's part of it. It's the unknown, Peter. Hey, let's talk about Alt5 Sigma. Their ticker symbol ALTS. They're publicly traded ALTS, and you can go to alt5sigma.com. Talk about what you guys do.
Yeah, so we've got 2 product portfolios. The first one is an OTC institutional grade trading platform. And we white label it for our customers. You won't see our name on the platform, but we have customers all over the world that trade cryptocurrencies with our platform. It's called Alt5 Prime. And the other side of our business, much to what we were just talking about, is called Alt5 Pay. You know, when you go to a merchant's website and you go to checkout, you've got options, right? You can go MasterCard, Visa, PayPal. If you see a button that says pay in crypto, that's us enabling it, and you pay in crypto.
The interesting part for me is when you talk about paying in crypto, the words tokenization come up, the words clearance comes up, the words trading comes up. Can you kind of feather that in to why that matters and how that fits into transactional cryptocurrency and Bitcoin? I beg your pardon, blockchain.
Yeah, so I mean, when you look at blockchain, it caters to both sides of the spectrum, right? Everything from small transactions to significantly sized transactions. transactions. I mean, we have schools online. We have people paying their kids tuition, and we've got people who've got children all over the world that want to move money around. And keep in mind, we don't deal with the customer. We deal with the businesses. But the businesses we deal with, this is what they're enabling. If you want to send $50 to your kid because they need to grab a cab somewhere, you can't really wait till the bank's open tomorrow, and you don't want to spend $30 in a wire fee to get that money across. And so all we do is enable a seamless capability to move money. We always think about Bitcoin, et cetera. Don't forget the stable coin. So when I say stable coin, something pegged to fiat, that's what we see most of our customers moving from endpoint to endpoint, to the tune of about 250 million a month right now.
Peter Tassiopoulous, the CEO of Alt5 Sigma, ticker symbol ALTS. Peter, the new administration coming in a matter of days, are they going to be very, very friendly to the blockchain, Bitcoin type of people out there?
Well, you look at their appointments, they've brought in a crypto czar, very, very capable man. The changes they made to the SEC. President Trump made a statement. I know it upset a bunch of people about the U.S. becoming a laggard when it comes to cryptocurrency. And he's right. And that was really driven by the previous administration's view on crypto, whether it be fear of change or lack of understanding, kind of irrelevant at this point. We have seen an inordinate influx of inbounds from US-based entities since that election who know that this administration looks like they are going to do what they promised, which was take the US from being a laggard in this technology and put them where they have been for decades on every other technology, bring them to the forefront. I mentioned we move money. So there's $190 trillion moving over international borders every year.
Jeez.
And the US businesses, government are counterparties to a lot of that movement. And to date, they've not really allowed crypto to be part of that process. So we think that what you're going to see in 2025 is going to be eye-opening for our industry.
I got three things real quick. I just want to point out the fact that you guys are exhibiting at the IFX Expo in Dubai week after next, I think, or maybe it's next week, if I'm not mistaken. The other piece of this thing real quickly is this fintech is going to disrupt the way we do business. Does this change the way we trade stocks eventually? Does this change the way we buy a car? Does this change the way we purchase a house overall, because the middleman is not needed anymore and it's so transparent? I mean, I think blockchain is Latin for transparency, right? I think that sort of changed everything. Or am I reaching too far in terms of disruption?
We have developers overseas that are paying for their land using stable coins instead of US dollar wires.
Wow.
We have a yacht manufacturer who's had a client pay for a yacht using a stable coin again. Yeah, I think you're actually spot on. The way that we transact and the way we move money is going to be significantly different from what we've seen. And I'm not saying this happens overnight, but you're at the inflection point.
I think one of the things we need to point out here about Alt5, at least the way I'm understanding it, and I get a chance to talk to Peter off air as well, is that there is this on-ramping period to adoption here in this country and everywhere else. And you guys are basically creating this off-ramp, making it easier for people to understand and adopt where we're all going to go anyway. Is that an accurate way to describe your underlying theme of what you guys are doing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What we're looking at, we do business in about 50 countries right now. I'd say the US is probably the smallest sliver representative of our business. We think that turns upside down. And once it does, look, there's no way to sugarcoat it, right? I mean, the way the US goes, the rest of the world usually follows, especially from a finance perspective. You asked me earlier, do we see it changing the way people trade stocks? Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
Well, if it saves you money, if it saves you money, and you are, I have a great question. And this is a tough one to ask Mary. What would it convince you? What would it take to convince you? Because I'm thinking in terms of, let's say our space in entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. Is it for us to take stablecoin or crypto for advertising sales, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say you run, what would it take for you to get there?
Well, even you saying, Mike, or I'm sorry, Peter, well, you just saying that we're the last, America is like the last to hop on this wagon and everyone else.
I think you said the opposite, didn't you, Peter?
No, we're like lagging behind.
Oh, we are?
We call this the
Lagging
lagger,
from a
right?
blockchain perspective, correct? Yeah.
From the blockchain perspective, and it made me say, yeah, why are we lagging? We should not be lagging. I mean, if the rest of the world is hopping on this and their technology, so that just made me think we should be getting involved and getting, educating our citizens more on it so that we're not skeptical and we're not, I think even just the term blockchain, I get stuck, I don't even know what it means. So just the basic education of it, will help Americans hop on a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly right.
Absolutely. And like I said, there's a distinguishing feature between having people invest in cryptocurrencies for the creation of wealth and using cryptocurrencies for day-to-day activities, right? And there is a difference between the two.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw it in the Venmo app, I thought, oh, this is very accessible and very real. It wasn't just this lofty thing up here. It was something that was in my hand. I use all the time. I thought, okay, I should be paying attention.
Well, you have the best BS detector of any person I've ever met in my entire life. So, Peter, is it going to take a third party sort of validation to kind of to get Johnny Lunchbucket and Cindy CEO to jump on the wagon? Because I think that's what it comes down to is adoption rate, right? At the end of the day, that's got to be one of your primary goals.
Yeah, look, what we've seen so far, I think, the U.S. and U.S. organizations have some of the brightest minds in the world. I don't think it's really a big education for them to adopt blockchain. I think it's just been a concern over the last 5 years or so as to what the implications are from a regulatory pathway. I think the fact that there'll be a change in clear regulations and how they regulate crypto, most of the folks that would make a difference in the blockchain world, I think they're pretty much educated. They understand the value proposition of what we do, of what blockchain holds for the future. So I think you'll see the adoption pretty quickly once they get that regulatory clarity, which looks like it's forthcoming.
He is Peter Tassiopoulous, Chief Executive Officer, Alt5 Sigma, ticker symbol ALTS. Peter, please come back on the show. Listen, it's like the mob. He's not getting out.
Caught up.
We need him. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate it.
Slowly but surely, I'm getting a grip on this.